the radar system, you want to set these up because you have all these options with the radar, and you want to make sure you have them set up beforehand so you don't have to do it mid dogfight, because you know that's not going to be the most useful thing to do. So what I recommend, go to the control option, type in radar, and you want to sign up these buttons. You want the radars on off, obviously, otherwise you can't even use it. The range of change mode doesn't really do a lot in my opinion. The search mode is the one if you want a wide or a tight sweep, which is very helpful at times. You want to change radar scope scale, and you don't really use this a lot, and this one is kind of for convenience sake, but it's not very much like of a thing that you will use a lot. This one is one you might use at higher altitudes, but you probably won't. It's more of a novelty than anything at this point. It's kind of busted at the moment. It doesn't really work because of the ground clutter. So to demonstrate, I turn it on and off with the 0. As you can see, number 2 doesn't do anything on my end. Number 5 is the sweep. So you can see on the left side of the radar, this is the long sweep, which is more for searching. And when you have someone in the middle of your screen, you want to press 5, which is what I do at least. And you can see that the sweep is a lot tighter, which makes it update more in that area. Of course, the other part of the radar is completely ignored. So it's a tight sweep, it's a faster update, and I use that one for target acquisition. And number 8, the scale, which speaks for itself, which is the scale of the radar, so how much you want on it, how much kilometers. It says so next to the radar, so you can't really miss it. And then you can see the little 1/3 of a circle like in the middle of the radar, and that is your target acquisition box, or however you want to call it. If someone is in there and he shows up as a dot, you can press, in my end, plus, and you can see it sweeps. That's the target acquisition. And if someone is a dot and you press it, he will show up on your radar, which I will put an example on the top right of the screen right now, because I can't get it to work on that MiG-15 Biz over there, because he's flying too low and the ground clutter interferes with it too much. And without further ado, let's go into the gameplay. So here we are, T2. It has been requested quite a lot, and there's a reason I haven't been flying it. I did about 90 games in it now, and I still haven't gotten much interesting footage. It's a very tedious plane to fly. It's not very easy. It requires a lot of awareness and game sense, and I don't recommend this to a lot of people. And even the people that I know that are good at this game, they don't do the best with it, because it's a very team reliant plane. It's a support plane. A lot of people think that this thing is the main fighter of the team, and of course when your full team is filled up with these things, it is of course your main fighter. But it flies very much like the Vautour, where you want to, nice spark with a missile, where you really want to think in advance, because this thing isn't very maneuverable. Of course it's very good at just rolling and flopping around just so you don't get hit, and it's very good acceleration, will get you out of most situations without much of a trouble. But it's not the easiest plane to fly, and I don't want this to turn into a rant, but I really think that this is one of the last jets you should like make yourself fly. This is like the epitome of using all of your experience, all of your skill, all of your little things you picked up along the way of grinding this thing, and not just this thing, but I mean all the planes in the game, that you get good at it, and that you show off everything you're good at. Because this thing is not very forgiving. Yes, it's accelerating very fast, and you can just zoom in and out without a problem, but the enemy team has the same plane, and if you handle them wrong, you get clapped. Like if you have to dump too much speed in the wrong situation, you're dead. Of course, when you have the number advantage, this thing becomes an absolute monster. But the problem is, it's very awkward to aim, it's very twitchy, it doesn't really turn that well, the gun is like on a very odd spot, and it's like a line, because it's a Vulcan. The Vulcan is very accurate, but it's on the side and it doesn't have any like volume. It's just a line, it's like a laser. So you don't have this box of death that you're shooting. It's like this little tiny line that you have to get on the enemy plane. And with the plane that is as floppy as this thing, as twitchy as this thing, it's very hard to get your gun on for a long period of time. And you might think it has 6,000 rounds per minute, you have 750 rounds and there's a 20 mil. What's the problem? And you'd be wrong, because this gun doesn't do a lot of damage, as well as you have seen in the intro clip, as well as you will see in the gameplay at hand, and as well as the times that you play it. You might think, oh, my aim is bad, or I can't fly this thing well. That might be the case. But a lot of times this gun will not finish people off, and there are times where I hit 60, 70 rounds and I got a crit and he was still able to fly. Not like that guy. That guy took 220s after he was crit and I took his wing off, which is good. That's like the kind of damage I'd like to see. But a lot of times that doesn't happen. And I'm kind of sad that a lot of times that it does happen. My recording didn't work. I had quite a lot of shadow play issues the other day. So I couldn't record everything, and I played a full session yesterday. Got a few nice kills, a few reversals here and there. But it just doesn't work. The gun is busted. I think the fire rate is a problem to the point that guys in servers can't keep up. But I'm not sure, I can't comment on that, that's all speculation. And the thing that I don't really want to do is commentate on the actual gameplay. Because this plane is as straightforward, literally as it gets. You want to fly fast, you want to go straight. You don't want to turn. It's a very boring plane to cover. It's a very boring plane to fly right, and if you fly it wrong, you get clapped. So you're kind of forced to play this very, very passive playstyle. Till another T-2, like the one in the intro clip that I used, will just stick on you like glue for 6 minutes, because he thinks, ooh, easy kill, T-2, and I'm on a 6. And it's just frustrating. Also, why would you go head on, full commit head on with a MiG-19S, while he's on fire and crit and slow? You know, I'll never know. But the plane is just tedious. And I think that this plane is one of those planes that really showcases how far you've come in the jets, in the gameplay. This thing is just such a, I don't want to say it, but it's not bad, like, don't get me wrong, but it's just so specific that you can't slip up, and it's not easy to play, even though you can, like, it's easy to play, don't get me wrong. You can just zoom in and out without doing shit. But if you want to be effective in this thing, if you want to get like 1 or 2 kills a game, at minimum, like 2 kills a game is an average I strive for. And I can't get it in this thing. Of course, I'm flying it a bit passively, but if you want to get kills in this thing, and you want to survive, you have to play it in a very specific manner, and carrying in this thing is virtually impossible. Even though it's so fast, even though it's so snappy, you can't carry in it properly when you like fighting, say, 2 CLs and a MiG-19S. It's the MiG-19S, you all bleed a lot of speed trying to get guns on, because this retention is atrocious. And then you lose your speed, the CL comes on you, and when you finally manage to accelerate away from it, the MiG-19S will out-accelerate you. So there's very little you can do, which is kind of unfortunate. But that's pretty much all it is. It's a very straightforward plane, and I don't recommend you to fly this thing until you're like, you know you're ready for it. And don't even get me started on the stock performance, like it's atrocious. And look at those guns. Look at this gun. And then only the last shells of that second burst kill him. I know it's an F100, but it's ridiculous. It's kind of funny at the same time, but it makes me sad. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. It's not a bad plane, it's tedious. And I think you should try different planes before this one. And again, on the stock performance, it's a pain in the ass. Because people will focus you, other T2s are not stock. Mostly run less fuel than you as well. And you just can't do a lot. And the other part of the stock grind is, it's so expensive to spade with GE. It's like 3,000, I think. 3,000 to spade the performance mods. And without it, it's pretty much unflyable. Someone like Nagato actually flies this thing without the missiles because he thinks that they're useless, which I kind of agree on, but sometimes they give me an easy kill. Sometimes they manage to kill someone that's not paying attention, and that will secure me the win. So I'll take the small performance decrease any time of the day, any day of the week, just for that potential cleanup, especially when people are slow, as you also saw in the intro. People slow, you shoot a missile at them from behind and there's just nothing they can do. And that's pretty much it. I said that 2 times now, but this is actually pretty much it. I'm just gonna play this game out. I'm actually out of things to say about this plane, and I still have some footage left, so I don't want to start rambling for nothing, like for the next 4 minutes. So what I want to do is something I completely forgot to do. I want to do this more personally, so I do this at the end of the video, because I know that the actual fans that stick around for every video, that watch up until the end, are going to see this, and not everyone that kind of clicks on it, and I don't want to waste their time with this. So thank you all a lot for the 3,000 subs. I've hit it about 2 weeks ago, but I completely forgot to mention it, and I kind of feel bad for that, but I had a lot of stuff going on, real life, content creator stuff going on, not just me, but the whole content creator group, which I will make a video on after everything is settled. But yeah, thanks a lot. I've been making a massive shit post pretty much with together with Razor. I'm gonna give him most of the credit for now, but it's what we have right now is pretty good, if I do say so myself. It's mostly what he did, but it's great. So look forward to that. I can give you an ETA on it, because it's kind of hard to find like the good balance of it being funny without being too over edited, you know. And it's like 8 minutes long, so I don't want it to drag out either. But yeah, so look forward to that one. Request something in the comments down below if you want to, and I'm doing this at the end as well, because the list I have is so long right now. I have like 25 planes in a list that people want to see and that I've agreed on. So when you're like, where's the Yak 30 video, and you know who you are, there's more planes that have priority for me, because not everyone wants to see the Yak 30. Not everyone wants to see the 190. Not everyone wants to see the 0. So I'm kind of like putting the planes that everyone wants to see, and the ones that have very little coverage on YouTube. I want to do those first, like the Mark IV Meteor Long Wing. Someone requested it, and he said, I haven't seen a video on it in 4 years. 4 years, like, that deserves an update. That deserves a new video. And something like the Yak 30 might not have a lot of videos either, but people actually fly it and no one's requesting it. So I have to find a nice balance. So don't feel left out when I don't put your video in, or your plane in first. I'm trying my best. I only have 2 hands. But without further ado, thank you all for watching, and I'll probably see you on Sunday.